Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. This is Wind Waker Unflooded. If you're new to the channel, this is a 3D modeling fan art project I was doing so good up until there. We're reimagining the land of Hyrule in the art style of the Wind Waker. Of course, if you've played Wind Waker, you know that all the islands of the Great Sea that we see in that game are actually the mountaintops of the land of Hyrule. That's canon. That's canon, like it or not. That's in-game. That is spoiler alert. But we never actually get to see Hyrule in the art style of the Wind Waker. We get to explore a small portion of it, and it's always just scratched this what am I trying to say? There, like so many of you, for me, I've always felt like, oh, I just want to see more, even though I've seen Hyrule since. We've seen it in Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. We've seen Hyrule since. But I've always wanted to see it in that art style. I love the art style of the Wind Waker. I fell in love with it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's the most beautiful video game art style that has ever been developed. And I stand by that. And so I've always wanted to see Hyrule in the art style of the Wind Waker, and that is what we're doing here. Using the power of 3D modeling, we are bringing that world to life. It's Hyrule as you've never seen it before. This is Wind Waker Unflooded. I give the background of the project, I do it in every video just in case anyone's new to the channel. And also it's helpful to I know I can explain the project in a single minute. Because I know that for so long, I've said this before, I feel like I really struggle to explain the project because it hinges upon so many things. It's like, okay, if you're a Zelda fan, then you know this game and you know Hyrule. And we've seen it in these games, but we haven't seen it in this game, but we kind of saw it in this game, but we didn't really. And so it's like, this is why I'm doing all this work to bring this project to life. And it's a lot to explain, but I also know that if y'all have played Wind Waker, then y'all understand. So, I don't know, I'm not going to ramble. I got other things to talk about. Let's talk about trolleys. Let's talk about trams. Because that is what we're doing. This is all about trams. No, I think trams are fascinating. I don't know, a lot of y'all have been talking about in the comments, and I've talked about in previous videos, it's like Wind Waker does have a little bit of a modern spin on things in a way that is unique to the Zelda series. And I think it's a really interesting look at that, right? Because it's like Hyrule as we see it, especially on the islands of the Great Sea, there are things that are fairly modern. We see Ferris wheels, right? Wind power. And all these different evidence of power and transportation that are fairly advanced. We see spotlights being used in the Forsaken Fortress. We see the Pictobox, which is evidence of photography and color photography, which is fairly advanced. And even though in game it's explained that color photography is made possible thanks to the fireflies, I think, of the Forest Haven. It's still that's still quite the technical innovation, and I really like that. I like that because that is in game. This idea that there is kind of a magical creature that makes technological advancement possible. It's this kind of blend of there is magic that makes technology possible. You have fire arrows and ice arrows and light arrows, which are a way of upgrading your equipment because you were blessed by the Queen of the Fairies. And there's that kind of blend, right, between magic and technology. And I really want to kind of use that in the world building more, right? This idea that this is a world where there are great fairies, right? There are the goddesses and their power. And we see in the Wind Waker that there are things that they directly control, right? And I think that that's really interesting, right? It's this is a world where the gods are real and they have power. Miracles happen. There are wielders of magic. And I think that that's really cool. So I don't know, not that that's unique in a fantasy setting, but I think that that's really cool to play with. And I want to be able to show that even through the world building. And so comment down below if you have any ideas for just ways that could be incorporated into the world. And that's something I've thought about with trains, right? I've talked about doing trains on the channel, but it's what's powering them, right? They don't have to be steam powered. They could be wind powered, or they could be they could be hydro powered somehow. Hyrule Castle Town is on a lake. I don't know. There's so many options, and I guess I really like the idea of tying together magic and technology. And comment down below if there's anything else that you think, using that frame of reference, are there any other things that can empower within the creation of the world of this project. But I guess, like, before we keep getting into that, like, you know, there are other things I want to talk about. I do think it's time for a very, you know, if you could give me a moment of your time, a single minute. I think it's time for a short break. So we'll be back after this short message. If you want to be able to support me as a creator, there's several ways that you can do that. Become a member on Patreon. It gives you access to exclusive bonus features and early access content in all of my filmmaking projects. Stuff like early access to scripts that I'm writing, storyboards, previs, rough cuts, and music that I compose. I'm a composer, and any music that you've heard in the background of this video was my music. So go to Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you listen to music and type in Joe Kendrick. That's JoeKendrick. Look up Joe Kendrick on Spotify. And we're back. I gotta remind you how you can support me as a creator. I don't make ad revenue. If there's ads on this video, it's because YouTube is making ad revenue on the video, and I don't support that. I think that this project, it is totally non-monetized from my point of view. I'm not making a single cent off of this project. So, like I said, if you want to be able to support me as a creator, become a member on Patreon. That would mean the world to me. But I think we're changing viewpoints in this time lapse. So here's the thing. This video is not just about trams. It's about reworking Castle Town. And I know I think you just saw something pretty dramatic happen in the time lapse. It looked like I deleted a bunch of stuff. I'm not. I'm just moving things around. So I guess, like, I just wanted to voice that just in case you were watching it and you went, wait a minute, what's he doing? I've had some realizations about just, like, the way that I want to go about modeling Castle Town and approaching the roads and the shape of it. And that is, so, like, and I just want to, like, say that, like, even though, like, visually, like, the roads and the concrete, like, took up a lot of space visually, like, it took, like, a couple minutes to model, like, the circle, right? Yeah, you know, like, the circle and extruded, and, you know, like, that did not take a lot of time. What took a lot of time with Castle Town was each building. The Opera House, the theater, the bath, and all of those buildings have been preserved. They're not going anywhere. So I just wanted to voice that, like, I know it looks like I lost a lot of work and I'm, like, redoing things for Castle Town. I'm refiguring out the layout, and I do want it to be more organically driven. I don't want to just, like, place circles and then place buildings on top of those circles. I want to place the buildings, figure out these key points of the city, and then kind of build the city around that. Build the, you know, have this trolley track, you know, set, have these main buildings that I've already built, and then kind of construct the city from that. I think that's the move. So I don't know. It's just kind of reframing the way I'm going to model it and design it. And we'll see, like, if I still have to, like, design it even more from here, then I will. But it's something that, like, you know, like, that's something I said from the beginning when I started working on Castle Town. I was like, this is an experiment, and I really like these buildings, and I think that these are going to work. It's just the placement of them might change. And so I modeled them in such a way and separated them out in such a way where it's very easy to kind of, like, just click and drag things around if they weren't working in their current spot. I knew that from the beginning. I knew that going in. I knew that with every building that I modeled. And I think I just reached that point where I was looking at it and I'm like, I do think I need to figure some things out and, you know, try some new layouts, and that's just part of the nature of the project. And I'm literally not losing any progress, but besides the couple minutes that it took to build the like, you know, the circular structure that was, you know, like, the foundation of the town, which did inform the shape of things, but it doesn't lose any time that I spent actually working on the buildings or anything. So I don't know, I just wanted to voice all that like, this may look like a scary part of the video where, like, I'm completely rethinking Castle Town. And as you can see too, I think you can see it now. I'm not actively watching the time lapse on screen, excuse me. But I think you can see that, like, I'm moving the theater to the hills, right? So it's like over past the shoreline. So there are some things where it's like I want to make some use of that space, and I still want to do stuff like over the water, and I still want that to be like an impressive city. But I also like want to make use of that space there, like over the hills as well. And so it'll be a mix of both, and this is just kind of still figuring some stuff out for the shape of the city and the general layout. And that's just, it's a creative project, and sometimes we make new decisions, and it's I don't know, like I think that I don't want that to be scary for y'all. I want y'all to see that and go like, oh, cool, I get to see the creative process in action. I saw him going in one route, and now he's going another route. I'm gonna say that word multiple ways, just so y'all don't know the way that I truly say that word. But yeah, like that is the creative process. It's sometimes we change our mind and we refine things, and for me, I think that like if I was a viewer, I think that that's cool about the project is that y'all get to see that happening live. Just because I'm not waiting to show you things until they're done, I'm showing you the process, and so you get to see those changes and decisions that I'm making, and I don't know, hopefully y'all think that's cool. So I don't know, I just wanted to like point that out that is happening. But anyway, I do think it's about time to start wrapping up the video. As I said before, and I just want to, I don't want to repeat myself, but just to voice again, become a member on Patreon if you want to be able to support me as a creator. That would make possible the creation of everything that I do, all my projects. Becoming a member gives you exclusive access to behind-the-scenes bonus features, all kinds of bonus content for my filmmaking projects, like scripts that I'm working on, music that I'm composing, works in progress for rough cuts and storyboards and previs, especially music that I compose. I am a composer, and if you want to listen to more of my music, listen to me on Spotify. Look up Joe Kendrick. You can also look up my music on Apple Music or wherever you listen to music. That's JoeKendrick. So yeah, look up Joe Kendrick wherever you listen to music, whether that's Spotify or Apple Music or wherever. So yeah, just wanted to give you all the spiel, just to let y'all know. Your support means the world. I want to thank everyone who's already become a Patreon member. That really does mean a whole lot, and it's been so nice to be able to see y'all there and have your support, and I hope y'all enjoy all of the bonus content. I really enjoyed composing, and there's a lot of tracks that I'm really proud of that the Patreon members are getting to hear first. So I've given you all the spiels. I'm not going to waste any more of y'all's time. I could keep rambling, and maybe that's why I'm doing, I don't know. I'm wrapping up the video. I'm going to stop rambling. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll let y'all go.